Home Minister Amit Shah says the order for scheduled tribe status of the Meitei community in Manipur, which triggered the clashes in the state, was given in haste. Shah announces a judicial probe into the violence in Manipur, but even as the Home Minister's visit to the state ends, tensions in the northeastern state remain. Farmers hold a Mahapanchayat to support protesting wrestlers. Farmer leader Rakesh Tiket says, "We will fight for wrestlers till they get justice." They plan to even meet the president next. Meanwhile, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee calls it a fight for humanity, as the government says they are dealing with the matter sensitively. Delhi's Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal meets the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin as a part of his mission to get support to oppose the centre's ordinance taking control over Delhi's bureaucrats. Stalin promises support, says the DMK opposes the ordinance and asks other chief ministers to do the same. Foreign Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar calls out terrorism at the BRICS Foreign Ministers meet, calls for efforts to prevent terror financing, calling terrorism a key threat to international peace. Jaishankar also meets the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov ahead of the SCO meet to be presided by India. UPI transactions hit a record high in the month of May. Monthly UPI transaction count crosses 9 billion, up by 58% year on year. Hello and welcome to NDTV 24/7. I'm Priyanshi Sharma. We'll get you the top news stories, but our focus remains on Manipur. And on the last day of his Manipur visit, Union Home Minister Amit Shah has made important statements and promises as well. The Home Minister said that the order for scheduled tribe status of the Meitei community, which triggered the clashes, was given in haste. He also announced a judicial probe into the Manipur violence. Meanwhile, the centre took another major decision by appointing a non-tribal Director General of Police in Manipur. But tensions in the northeastern state continue as over 80 people have died. Here's our report.
Manipur's police chief P. Dongel, removed a month after the start of ethnic clashes in the state that have left 80 dead so far and thousands homeless. The new police chief is not from the state, but a Tripura cadre IPS officer who has been rushed to Manipur by the centre. The move right after Home Minister Amit Shah addressed this press conference in Imphal that started with the strong opinion about a recent Manipur High Court decision asking the state government to consider granting scheduled tribe status to the Meitei community.
29 अप्रैल को मणिपुर हाई कोर्ट ने, मैं कोई झिझक के बगैर कह सकता हूं, एक जल्दबाज फैसले के कारण यहां पर जातीय हिंसा और दो ग्रुपों के बीच में हिंसा की शुरुआत हुई.
After a series of meetings during his 4-day visit to the northeastern state, Mr. Shah said a panel led by a retired Chief Justice will probe the ethnic violence in the state. 6 cases related to conspiracy in the violence will be probed by the Central Bureau of Investigation or the CBI. The Home Minister said a peace committee would be set up under the Governor and Security Advisor Kuldeep Singh and members of civil society. Mr. Shah also warned of stern action against those who looted weapons from security personnel.
और कॉम्बिंग ऑपरेशन करने के बाद जिनके पास से हथियार मिलेंगे उन पर कठोर न्यायिक धाराएं लगाई जाएंगी. तो मेरा सभी से अपील है कि जिनके पास हथियार हैं वो सभी लोग पुलिस के सामने अपने हथियारों को सरेंडर कर दें.
The Union Home Minister has also advised the State Chief Minister on tackling the crisis and winning back trust.
Sir, Saurabh from NDTV. Sir, आप जहाँ गए हैं आपको वेलकम भी किया गया है हर जगह पे, लेकिन स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के प्रति एक डिस्ट्रस्ट है. इसको लेकर क्या आपने जो राज्य की सरकार है उनको कोई सुझाव दिए हैं, कोई एडवाइस दिए हैं कि इस डिस्ट्रस्ट को कैसे दूर?
देखिए, मैंने काफी सारी चर्चा करी है, स्थिति से अवगत भी कराया है, सुझाव भी दिए हैं, मगर वो आपके लिए नहीं है, राज्य सरकार के लिए.
The Manipur government has already announced 10 lakh rupees each as compensation for next of kin of the deceased. The centre has allocated 30,000 metric tons of rice and made special arrangements for gas, fuel and vegetables. The government has also announced measures like a retina scan and biometric registration of people coming in from neighboring Myanmar and said eventually the Manipur-Myanmar border will be totally sealed. While Amit Shah's visit to Manipur was welcomed by all groups in the state, the situation continues to remain tense, with reports of firing and attacks being reported in parts of the state. The Home Minister has directed officials to take stern and prompt action to bring back normalcy at the earliest.
The Union Home Minister Amit Shah has promised to return to Manipur in a few days as the measures announced by him today are implemented by the authorities over the next few days to ensure a degree of normalcy returns to Manipur. But the next few days are going to be crucial for the state's future. With Ratnadeep Chaudhary in Guwahati, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
And moving on to the other big story, farmer leaders held a big Mahapanchayat of farmers and CAP leaders in Uttar Pradesh's Muzaffarnagar to stress on their support for the wrestlers protesting against the BJP MP Brij Bhushan Sharan. The farmer leader Rakesh Tiket said that they will fight for the wrestlers till they get justice, and the farm leaders will also seek time to meet the president. Meanwhile, the centre in its defence said that they are dealing with the matter sensitively. Here's a report by my colleague Saurabh Shukla.
उन्होंने 40 दिन चला दिया, उनका धन्यवाद है। उनको हताश होने की जरूरत नहीं। ये आंदोलन, ये लड़ाई लड़ी जाएगी। अगर एक भी प्रकरण मेरे ऊपर साबित हो जाएगा तो मैं फांसी पर लटक जाऊंगा। इसके लिए किसी को कहना नहीं पड़ेगा। और खिलाड़ियों से भी कहिए, मेडल न फेंके, मेडल देश का होता है।
Wrestlers' protest started from Jantar Mantar, went to the Supreme Court, then to Haridwar, and now it has reached the Haryana Khap Panchayat. Today, more than 500 Khap Chaudharis and farmer leaders gathered in support of the wrestlers at the Sauram village of Muzaffarnagar.
भाई गिरफ्तारी का तो हक बन रहा उसका, जब उन्होंने इतना अपराध कर रखा तो उसे सरकार उसे बचाने में लग रही, और समझौता सिर्फ एक ही बात पे है, वो उसकी गिरफ्तारी हो जाए, समझौता ही है और क्या है।
And they all said that the movement would continue till Wrestling Federation Chief Brij Bhushan was arrested. A Mahapanchayat will be held in Kurukshetra on Friday to decide on further action. For now, they have decided to meet the president.
इसमें 5, 7, 10, 15, 20 आदमी जितने भी छटेंगे वे राष्ट्रपति जी से मिलेंगे, गृह मंत्री जी से मिलेंगे। टाइम लिया जाएगा, उन तो बहुत जल्दी टाइम। कल को फिर है पंचायत, 4 तारीख में फिर है। ये तो पंचायतों का इतना सिलसिला जारी रहेगा, कोई वो होगा, कोई निर्णय ठोस भी लिया जा सके, कोई पैदल यात्रा भी निकल सके, कुछ भी कर सके, तो पूरे भारत का हो गया।
Meanwhile, the government says they are trying to tread the issue with sensitivity.
दिल्ली पुलिस जांच भी कर रही है, तो जो प्लेयर्स ने कहा वही सब कुछ हुआ है, और पुलिस अपनी रिपोर्ट देगी। आखिरकार उनको जांच पूरी होने का इंतजार करना चाहिए।
Meanwhile, Brij Bhushan reacted to the wrestlers' threat of immersing their medals in the Ganga.
दिल्ली पुलिस की जांच का इंतजार करिए और खिलाड़ियों से भी कहिए, मेडल न फेंके, मेडल देश का होता है। अगर एक भी प्रकरण मेरे ऊपर साबित हो जाएगा तो मैं फांसी पर लटक जाऊंगा।
In Kolkata, Mamta held a candle march in support of the wrestlers.
ये जिंदगी का लड़ाई है, सोच का लड़ाई है, ऐसे नहीं चलता है। हम देखते हैं क्या डिसीजन हमारा रेसलर भाई बहन ने लेते हैं, उसके ऊपर हमारा मूवमेंट जारी रहेगा।
Things are not getting easy for Union Sports Ministry. Wrestlers are adamant on Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh's arrest, and on the other hand, Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh is also giving statements every day, and he is also holding a rally on 5th of June in Ayodhya to show his strength. And apart from that, International Olympic Association is also questioning police's action against wrestlers. Now, all eyes are on Delhi police, what they will file in their charge sheet. And the big question is, will it be acceptable to these wrestlers? In New Delhi, with Monu Singh and Ashwani Mehra, Saurabh Shukla for NDTV.
And as the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal is on a mission to unite opposition parties to oppose the centre's ordinance on Delhi, he met the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin. Stalin promised his support to oppose the ordinance that gave the central government the full control over Delhi's bureaucrats and took the control away from the Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi. Stalin's support came as Arvind Kejriwal has already secured support from Mamata Banerjee, the West Bengal Chief Minister, Uddhav Thackeray, NCP Chief Sharad Pawar, Telangana Chief Minister KCR, Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar, and these several leaders that he has already gotten support from. Listen in to what Kejriwal and Stalin said at their meeting.
If all the non-BJP parties come together, we can defeat this bill in Parliament. So I have come to seek the support of Honorable CM of Tamil Nadu and his party DMK, that when this bill comes in Parliament, especially in Rajya Sabha, this bill should be collectively defeated as it is undemocratic, against the federal structure, it is unconstitutional. Together all of us should defeat this bill.
ஆனால் அது நிறைவேறக்கூடாது என்ற ஒரு எண்ணத்தோடு பிஜேபி ஆட்சி அதை எதிர்த்து ஒன்றிய அரசு இன்றைக்கு ஒரு அவசர சட்டத்தை பிறப்பித்திருக்கிறது. ஆக இந்த அவசர சட்டத்தை நிச்சயமாக திராவிட முன்னேற்றக் கழகம் கடுமையாக எதிர்க்கும். அதில் எந்த மாற்றமும் கிடையாது.
And meanwhile, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar is in Cape Town for the BRICS or Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa's foreign ministers meet. Now, in his opening remarks there, he made strong comments on terrorism, calling for resolute efforts to prevent terror financing and propaganda, as he said that terrorism is among the key threats to international peace and security. Listen in.
Excellencies, at the heart of the problems we face is economic concentration that leaves too many nations at the mercy of too few. This may be in regard to production, resources, services, or connectivity. India undertook the Voice of the Global South exercise to place these issues before the G20. We urge that BRICS give it particular consideration and promote the economic decentralization that is so essential to political democratization. Among the key threats to international peace and security is that of terrorism. All nations must take resolute measures against this menace, including its financing and propaganda.
And the Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar, ahead of the SCO summit that is going to be presided by India, also met the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov on the sidelines of the BRICS meet. And along with that, he also met the Saudi Arabian Foreign Minister Faisal bin Farhan. And now some good news for the economy. India's manufacturing sector growth has touched a 31-month high in the month of May, according to S&P Global. The Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index, or PMI, has climbed up to 58.7 in the month of May from 57.3 in April. Now, why has it grown? S&P Global says that the sector is growing as there has been a record expansion in input stocks. It says that stocks of purchases have risen at an unprecedented pace, and that has led to India's manufacturing sector growth growing to the highest level since October 2020, which is the highest in over 2 years. And UPI transactions have hit a record high in the month of May. The number of monthly UPI transactions crossed 9 billion in May, and transactions worth 14.89 lakh crore rupees have been made in the month of May. Both the volume and the value of the transactions made via UPI are the highest ever. Let's take a look at how the transactions have grown compared to last year. If we talk in value terms, the monthly transaction value is up 43% year on year. There you can see that graph that shows how the monthly value of UPI transactions has grown compared to last year. And if we talk about the volume terms, the number of UPI transactions made every month, that figure has grown by 58% this May compared to May last year. But on the GST figures for May, there is some negative news that we're getting. The GST collection for the month of May has fallen if we compare it with the month of April. The GST collection for the month of May is at 1.57 lakh crore rupees, which is 16% lower than the GST collection made in the month of April when it was 1.87 lakh crore rupees. But if we compare year on year, the GST collection for the month of May is 12% higher than the GST collection that was made in May last year. The monthly GST collection has also crossed 1.5 lakh crore rupees for the 5th time ever since the inception of GST. And moving to the big international story, as the US Congress has passed the bill to raise the debt ceiling, the national debt clock, which is a billboard-sized that is running total display that shows the United States gross national debt and each American family's share on that debt. And that shows the national debt was over 31.4 trillion US dollars, as you can see. Now remember, that was the United States debt ceiling, which was the limit on the maximum amount that the US government can have as outstanding debt. But now the Congress has passed a bill to extend this debt ceiling. Now it has to be passed in the Senate next. This was a major move as the US prevented a default. If they wouldn't have raised the debt ceiling, then the US could have defaulted on its debt and run out of cash by the 5th of June. Welcome back. The big international story. The Oklahoma Supreme Court has ruled that 2 state laws banning abortion are unconstitutional, but the procedure remains illegal in the state in nearly all cases except for in life-threatening situations. Here's our report.
Oklahoma's Supreme Court has said that 2 laws passed last year that ban most abortions are unconstitutional because their language conflicts with that of an earlier court ruling. But this ruling doesn't affect a law passed 113 years ago, which still prohibits most abortions. Abortions are prohibited unless necessary to save the mother's life. The laws struck down by the court in this case were civil laws. Both had made exceptions for cases involving medical emergency. While the 2 laws have been deemed unconstitutional, Oklahoma state law still holds that abortions are a felony, punishable by up to 5 years in prison, except in cases in which a woman must obtain one because, and I quote, it's necessary to preserve her life. Yet, abortion rights advocates still welcome the ruling while acknowledging that Oklahoma remains one of the most heavily restricted states for abortion access in the United States. But the governor of Oklahoma, Kevin Stitt, who has staunchly opposed abortion, criticized the decision as activism. Oklahoma is among a number of Republican-led states that moved to ban abortion in anticipation of the US Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe versus Wade. Legal challenges were quick to follow, and many cases ended up before state Supreme Courts. Those courts have become critical arbiters in deciding abortion access and a new political front in the US's abortion battles. But in some conservative states, courts have decided that their state constitutions protect abortion rights. Parmeshwar Bava for NDTV.